What's that? What's that?
Oh my God. What was that? Get out of here. Holy shit.
Have you ever wondered what lurks deep within the shadows of the forest? Join us as we count down the top 10 most thrilling Bigfoot sightings ever captured on camera.
And you know, the movements are a little unusual. If I had to guess, it looks a little more on the hoaxy side, but you know, it is too far away.
From the dense forests to the remote mountains, these encounters will send shivers down your spine. Get ready to be amazed and maybe even a little spooked as we explore the unexplained phenomenon of Bigfoot sightings. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest mysterious sightings. Let's dive straight into the video. Number 10. Bigfoot's snowy escape. There were two guys named John and Matthew who were exploring a mountain range called the Wasatch Front. They were on a mission to capture evidence of Bigfoot, the legendary creature that many believed roamed the wilderness. John received a video from a person who had filmed something extraordinary on one of the mountain peaks. The video started with John and his friend down in the valley at an elevation of 4,200 feet. They used a spotting telescope and zoomed in on a peak that was 9,000 feet high. They were amazed to see a creature running horizontally and then vertically up the steep slope on a snow-covered mountainside. It was a massive challenge for them to capture it on camera because the creature was almost a mile higher than they were, around 5,200 feet higher. They had to zoom in over 3 miles to get a clear view. The footage showed the creature effortlessly moving through a whopping 90 inches of snow. Although the guys were excited, they were astonished by the creature's agility and speed on the snowy mountain. To give viewers a better understanding, John decided to compare the creature's size and movements with those of a man. He showed footage of his friend Matthew, who was 6 feet tall, hiking in 18 inches of snow. Then he showed the creature running in 90 inches of snow. The difference was astonishing. The creature appeared much larger and more powerful. The video continued with stabilized clips of the creature running on the mountain. John assured the viewers that they would play the clip again, this time zoomed in, so they could see the creature more clearly. They were determined to continue their search for Bigfoot, and they encouraged everyone to keep watching their adventures. After the video received attention, some people suggested searching for footprints or using a drone to investigate the area where the creature was filmed. A helicopter pilot even flew over the Watchfront mountain range to look for evidence, but the pilot couldn't locate any Bigfoot. Number 9. Mysterious tracks in Idaho. In Oxford, Idaho, there was a rancher who had a peculiar encounter with Bigfoot. It all started in the early morning hours when the rancher, named Greg, heard strange noises outside. Something was after his rabbits, and it happened for 2 consecutive mornings. Naturally, he was curious and a little scared. One day, Greg decided to investigate. He followed the unusual tracks in the snow that led to the pavement. He couldn't believe his eyes when he saw the size of the tracks. They were huge. Greg quickly grabbed his Polaroid camera and took some photos of the tracks as evidence. Greg couldn't see the creature itself, but the tracks left him in shock. He shared the photos with a group called the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization, RMSO, who were experienced in tracking and researching Bigfoot sightings. They analyzed the photos and noticed something interesting. The tracks showed that the creature had paused in the clearing, as if it was assessing the situation before continuing on. This behavior wasn't unusual for Bigfoot. They tend to be cautious and observant when crossing open areas to avoid being detected. It seemed like Bigfoot was doing the same. The RMSO asked Greg if he could estimate the size of the tracks compared to a shoe size, but unfortunately, he hadn't thought of that. All he could say was that they were big. The group explained that Bigfoot sightings in Idaho were not uncommon. The RMSO shared some historical reports of Bigfoot sightings in Idaho, dating back to 1902. It showed that encounters with these creatures had been happening for a long time. The state had become known for its Bigfoot activity, and the group had conducted numerous expeditions to investigate sightings and gather evidence. Number 8. The Freeman Encounter. In the 1980s, there was a man named Paul Freeman who worked for the U.S. Forest Service. One day, while he was out in the woods, he claimed to have encountered a massive creature standing at a towering height of 8 feet. This creature, he believed, was none other than Bigfoot. Excited by this encounter, Freeman decided to gather some evidence to prove the existence of Bigfoot. He took plaster casts of the creature's footprints, which experts later examined and concluded that they were likely from an unknown species. Determined to find more evidence, Freeman continued his search in the early 1990s near the Blue Mountains in Washington. While filming in the woods, he stumbled upon more unusual footprints and made casts of them. As he ventured further into the brush, something caught his eye in the distance. It was a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, standing there without a care in the world about Freeman's presence. Overwhelmed by the sight, Freeman couldn't contain his excitement and exclaimed, "There are actually 2 of them. There are 2 Bigfoots."
Oh, there he goes.
He managed to capture this incredible moment on video, known as the Freeman footage. Many people hailed it as definitive proof of Bigfoot's existence. This sighting by Paul Freeman and the subsequent footage he captured became one of the top 10 Bigfoot sightings of all time. It sparked even more curiosity and fascination about the elusive creature. People were amazed by the possibility that Bigfoot, a creature of legend and folklore, might actually be real. Number 7, Marble Mountain, Bigfoot. And in the beautiful wilderness of Marble Mountain in California, there was a youth group led by a man named Jim Mills. They had set up their campsite in the heart of nature, surrounded by towering trees and breathtaking views.
Something.
Brad's getting eaten alive.
Brad, let me climb out for a minute. Let me get a look into this.
One evening, as the sun started to set and the campfire crackled, Jim's keen eyes caught a glimpse of something peculiar. He couldn't believe his eyes when he saw a mysterious creature lurking along a ridge not too far from their camp. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before.
Whatever it is has been all smoothed out.
Realizing the significance of this moment, Jim quickly pulled out his camera and started recording. For almost 7 minutes, he bravely captured the creature on film, making it the longest video ever recorded of a possible Bigfoot sighting. The footage, although a bit grainy, revealed a creature with dark, shaggy fur and an enormous stature. It moved with an eerie grace, its steps measured and deliberate. There was something otherworldly about its eyes, and its presence sent shivers down the spines of everyone who watched the video. News of this incredible sighting spread like wildfire, capturing the imagination of people worldwide. The video became a sensation, with countless Bigfoot enthusiasts and skeptics analyzing every frame, searching for clues about the creature's existence. Several people believed that it proved the existence of the mythical Bigfoot, who is said to roam remote forests and mountains, elusive and mysterious. Others remained skeptical, suggesting it could be a cleverly crafted hoax or a misidentified animal. Regardless of the debate, Jim's video opened up a world of possibilities.
He's screaming at it, something. Get out of my camp, get out of my camp.
It inspired countless adventurers and researchers to venture into the Marble Mountain wilderness, hoping to catch a glimpse of the creature themselves. The youth group's camping trip turned into a legendary tale, one that will live on forever. Number 6, Strange Bigfoot in Colorado. In the beautiful wilderness of Colorado, a group of friends went hiking. They didn't expect to come face to face with something unbelievable: Bigfoot. It happened in 2009, and one of the hikers, Cameron, took a photo of the creature using his BlackBerry phone. What made it even more peculiar was that no matter how they moved, the creature looked exactly the same in the photo. They couldn't capture a video, but they were sure they had seen something extraordinary. When they went back to the spot later, all they found was a big pile of pine straw. They were confused because they couldn't find any other evidence or photos of the creature. It was a mystery. Interestingly, Colorado is famous for having the most Bigfoot sightings in the Rocky Mountains. In the 1990s, there were so many sightings near Pikes Peak that the Park Service put up a sign to acknowledge them. People were getting scared and wanted something to be done. Another person, Tanner, had a similar experience. He saw two gray figures running past him while he was hiking. The tree's grayish color helped the creatures hide well. The second one was smaller than the first, but still very tall. Tanner, who was 6'3", estimated it to be almost 7 feet tall. He got scared and ran away, but he heard strange sounds coming from the area where the creatures had come from. Tanner kept going back to the area and even left food for them. He found footprints there too, which were much bigger than human footprints. Tanner eventually moved away, but recently came back to continue investigating. He believes that the area is a regular route for Bigfoot creatures. Colorado's beautiful landscapes and unique features make it a perfect place for Bigfoot sightings. Number 5, the Romanian mystery. In the mountains of Romania, there was an incredible encounter with a mysterious creature. It happened during an episode of a show called Survivor Man Romania, where a man named Les Stroud was exploring the wild. Les had a camera with him and was recording his adventures. During one particularly intense moment, Les found himself on the edge of a cliff, almost slipping off. As he regained his balance, he noticed something strange. From the cover of the thick forest, a figure resembling a Bigfoot or Yeti was watching him.
So they're pretty faint.
Les couldn't believe his eyes. He quickly turned his camera towards the creature and managed to capture a few seconds of footage. It was a thrilling and rare sighting. The video was later analyzed and some filters were applied to enhance the details of the figure. When zoomed in, it revealed a creature with a prominent brow ridge, cheekbones, and a domed head. This creature had no neck, just pure muscle from its head to its large shoulders, which are characteristics often associated with Bigfoot. Although nobody could say for certain if it was Bigfoot or a Yeti, the figure in the footage had a human-like nose, face, and a powerful jaw. It perfectly matched the descriptions of Sasquatch-like creatures. It seemed like this creature was using its excellent natural camouflage to hide in the shadows of the forest.
Keep me going east, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna hit cliffs or problem areas that I...
Quietly observing its surroundings. The encounter was truly remarkable. The creature had a front row seat to one of Les Stroud's adventurous moments, witnessing him nearly take a tumble from the cliff ledge. It was a close call, but Les managed to stay safe. Number 4, Maine's Bigfoot encounter. There was a family from Maine who went to a house in Nova Scotia. They were there to decide what to do with the house because their grandfather had passed away. The house was in a secluded area near a park called Card Lake Provincial Park. When they arrived, they explored the area and found broken branches and animal bones in the woods. The family wondered if their grandfather had been a hunter. One night, they decided to stay in the house. The next morning, while one of the sons, Eric, was sitting outside, he got hit by a small rock. He looked around but didn't see anyone. Then a bigger rock was thrown in front of him. When he looked towards the trees, he saw a huge creature with a scary face. It had black eyes, a wide nose, a thin mouth, and lots of grayish-white hair. Eric knew it wasn't a person because it was way too big. Scared, Eric ran back inside and told his family. His father grabbed a rifle and they went outside. They saw the creature charging at them, so Eric's father fired a shot to scare it away. The creature screamed and ran back into the woods. The family was relieved but also very scared. They quickly decided to leave and sold the land later on. The family was grateful that Eric's father had the rifle, or else they might have been hurt. The encounter left them very frightened. The Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization heard about their story and understood their fear. They thought that maybe the creature had been friends with the family's grandfather and got confused when they came to his house. They also mentioned that the dead animals they found might have been gifts from the creature to their grandfather. The organization reminded everyone to be careful and protect themselves if they ever encounter something dangerous. They shared the family's story as one of the top 10 Bigfoot sightings. Number 3, mysterious forest encounter. In a forest between Rockford and Chicago, Illinois, a young boy named Chris embarked on an exciting adventure. With his camera in hand, Chris set out to film a video about surviving in the wild and capturing the beauty of nature. As Chris explored the forest and pretended to teach survival skills to an imaginary audience, something extraordinary grabbed his attention. Among the trees, a mysterious creature called Bigfoot sat just a few steps away. Even though Chris's video had only a few views, he managed to capture the elusive Bigfoot on camera. This sighting demonstrated how cameras around the world can occasionally catch a glimpse of this legendary creature. Unaware of the lurking presence behind him, the camera focused on Chris. Suddenly, rocks flew through the air, landing near him. Surprised, he turned around and caught a glimpse of the massive figure of Bigfoot disappearing into the forest. Experts analyzed the footage and noticed several details that confirmed the sighting's authenticity. The creature's steps had consistent coloration, a high shoulder slope, and a distinctive mid-tarsal break, all typical characteristics of Bigfoot. The video also revealed intriguing moments, such as Bigfoot throwing rocks and making strange clicking noises. The source of these noises remained a mystery, adding to the enigma surrounding the sighting. Experts further observed that the creature's movements followed a consistent pattern. As it walked, its feet displayed a distinctive rise and fall, indicating a unique way of walking associated with Bigfoot sightings. When zoomed in, researchers noticed the creature's hair glistening in the sunlight, appearing almost white. This phenomenon, observed in other sightings, was attributed to the grayish skin underneath the creature's hair, reflecting light. As the video progressed, Bigfoot charged through the underbrush, seemingly unaffected by the surrounding trees. This behavior aligned with other encounters where Bigfoot effortlessly pushed through obstacles in dense forests. By examining the creature's profile, experts found that its chin, the slope of its back, and the nape of its neck formed a distinctive contour, providing further evidence of a genuine Bigfoot sighting. This sighting added to the evidence that Bigfoot is more than just a myth. These creatures inhabit large wooded areas near communities, adept at hiding and blending into their surroundings. It seems that Bigfoot is particularly curious about the presence of young children, as observed in Chris's adventure. The reasons behind the rock throwing and the popping noise heard after Bigfoot's departure remain unclear. Some speculate that these actions were meant to get the camera's attention or startle Chris, while others believe they might have had a different purpose. Although Chris estimated Bigfoot's height to be just over 6 feet tall, determining the exact size was challenging due to its position behind a tree. It's possible that the creature was even taller than initially thought, adding to the mystery surrounding Bigfoot's existence. Number 2. Giant encounter. In a faraway place called Dry Bread Hollow, a man named Matthew Anderson went on an exciting adventure. Little did he know that something incredible was about to happen to him. He was going to come face to face with two gigantic creatures, the giants of Dry Bread. One sunny day, Matthew found himself deep in the wilderness of Dry Bread Hollow. As he explored, he noticed many footprints that were much larger than any humans. It seemed like these footprints belonged to Bigfoot, mysterious and elusive creatures. Following the footprints, Matthew heard a noise coming from the bushes nearby. He couldn't resist his curiosity and decided to investigate. To his amazement, he saw two enormous beings standing right in front of him. They were incredibly tall, measuring a mind-boggling 8.5 feet. The first giant had dark black fur and looked quite serious. His gaze was intense, as if he was carefully watching every move Matthew made. The second giant, slightly older, also had black fur but with streaks of gray. He had a unique hairline that resembled a widow's peak and a thick gray chin. Matthew felt a mix of excitement and fear as he locked eyes with the giants. The older one, seemingly wiser and protective, stepped forward, positioning himself between Matthew and the younger giant. Surprisingly, the older giant didn't show any signs of being mean or aggressive. He had a calm and indifferent expression on his face. Realizing that he should be cautious, Matthew decided to slowly back away. He kept his eyes on the giants as he carefully moved backward until he felt safe. Only then did he put away his weapon and quickly made his way back to where he came from. Thinking back on the encounter, Matthew couldn't believe what he had witnessed. The giants of Dry Bread Hollow were truly awe-inspiring. The older giant, in particular, was incredibly strong and powerful. His broad shoulders and massive chest, which measured around 4 feet across, showed just how strong he was. Although he didn't have defined muscles like a bodybuilder, his sheer size and presence were enough to impress anyone. The younger giant, on the other hand, appeared healthier and more muscular. He looked like a professional strongman, even bigger than Brian Shaw. Although his muscles weren't well defined, his whole body exuded strength and vitality. Matthew felt incredibly lucky to have encountered the legendary giants of Dry Bread Hollow. Seeing their enormous size and silent dominance made a lasting impression on him. He knew that this incredible experience would stay with him forever, reminding him of the amazing wonders that still exist in the unexplored corners of our world. Number 1. Scout Camp Bigfoot Encounter. In July 1994, a group of scouts went on a nighttime hike at Bear Scout Camp. It was a bright night with a big moon shining above them. One of the scouts, who wants to keep their name a secret, saw something unbelievable. On the other side of a stream, in the shadows under the trees, they spotted a strange creature walking on 2 legs. It definitely wasn't a bear, gorilla, chimp, or any ape they knew. It looked like a man, or maybe even a Bigfoot. The creature was about 50 to 60 feet away, walking along the side of the stream. It was a bit scary, but the witness didn't say anything at first, thinking that the scout leader had seen it too. But as they kept walking, it became clear that the leader hadn't noticed anything unusual. Then another scout heard a noise up ahead and pointed to where the creature had gone. It crossed the slope and went down toward the stream, making a clicking sound like rocks hitting each other. Everyone got scared and yelled out, but there was no response. The group decided to go back to a safe meadow they had passed earlier. They stayed there in the dark until about 1:00 a.m., thinking about what they had seen. They guessed that the creature had passed by at around 10:00 p.m. During that time, they imagined all sorts of scary things creeping up on them. Finally, they gathered their courage and continued down the trail, ready to defend themselves. The witness described the creature in detail. It was tall, about 6 to 7 feet, and had a strong body. It moved smoothly and quickly, even though it was big. The witness noticed that it brushed against a small tree as it walked. The creature was all one dark color and had a high head. Its body was different from a human's, with wide thighs and a big round buttock. It looked fit and strong, not like a fat person at all. The witness was sure that it wasn't a bear or an escaped ape. It had its own unique way of moving, twisting its hips as it walked. Unfortunately, they didn't find any footprints that night because they were too scared to look. The rain also washed away any tracks the next day. This happened on the trail to Baker Lake, starting at the East Fork of Bear Scout Camp. The next day, the scouts had other things to do, so they couldn't investigate further. But they will always remember that strange encounter at the camp. Thanks for watching our compilation of the top 10 Bigfoot sightings. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling content. And remember, the search for Bigfoot continues. So stay tuned by subscribing for future updates and share your own encounters in the comments below.